Hey everyone, I'm Dr. Seth. First, am I having a good hair day? You bet. I'm Dr. Seth Meyers, clinical psychologist, and this quick video is just a continuation of my series on signs a person has become an unhappy person. Becoming an unhappy person is really tricky because a lot of times we don't even realize it's happening until later we look back and we're thinking, whoa, I guess I did become unhappy. I am truly unhappy. And how did that happen? Well, it happens slowly and gradually. So you have to be careful. And I believe if a person has become unhappy, there's usually one of four areas of their life that is causing them more unhappiness than the others. So the four areas of life I think of as one's work life, one's social life, one's romantic life, and what I call one's hobby life. So let's start real quick with work life. You could be someone who works a full time traditional job. You could be a stay at home parent. Parenting is a job too. You could be somebody who just volunteers part time or full time. It's all work, right? Just daily life, keeping it all up is its own job. Your social life. Your social life could be causing you unhappiness because maybe you don't feel very connected to people around you. Maybe you don't feel like you have the quality of friendships you want. Your romantic life. Sometimes a person has a romantic partner, but actually it's the relationship that's causing distress, making them feel unhappy, making them feel lonely. Yes, it is possible to be lonely and to be in a relationship. Or it could be that you're single and really feeling like you're missing that companionship you want. And then finally, your hobby life. This is not the stuff that you get paid for. This is the stuff that you do that brings you fulfillment. So often I talk to people who are unhappy and they say, well, I used to do that, or I used to do this in the past, but well, I stopped doing it. Why? Some of the stuff that we did in the past made us happy and we need to keep doing it. Look closely at which of those four areas of life might be causing you more unhappiness than another. Now, some people will say, well, it's all four of those areas. It's all four of those areas. I'm unhappy in every single one of those areas. That may be true. There may be unhappiness in each one of those areas, but go deeper than that. Ask yourself which of those areas might be making you feel a little lonelier, a little more unhappy than the other. So, if you were to try to improve one of those areas of life now, which area makes the most sense to start with? Now, one example would be to start with your social life. Do you feel like you have a friend that you can talk to? Do you feel connected to somebody? A lot of times when we become unhappy, nobody really knows. It's almost like a secret that we keep. Maybe we're ashamed and we don't want to let people know. Maybe we're afraid people will judge us. Maybe we're afraid that people won't want a relationship anymore, that people only like happy people. Well, that's not true, but sometimes we tell ourselves things that are wrong when we become unhappy. So, the first step to dealing with the unhappiness problem is to make sure that you have identified what in your life is causing you that unhappiness, which of those four areas of your life, and then just try to start setting just a really simple plan of action to improve it. Ask yourself, what is one thing I can do today to try to improve that area of my life? If it is your work life and you're unhappy in your job, is it something that you need to start looking around and preparing your resume and looking for another job? If it's social, do you need to maybe get out of the house more and meet more people? Is it time maybe you need to join something? Do you need to go to a place once a week where you can see the same group of people who get to know your name and make you feel wanted? Do you feel like you are a part of a family that makes you feel good? Sometimes people are parts of families that actually bring them pain and they don't feel understood by them. It's important that everybody have some sense of family, going somewhere where you feel like, yeah, these people understand me. These people get me. If it is your romantic life and it's a relationship that you have today with someone, are you working on it? Have you considered couples therapy? Have you bought a book on how to improve a romantic relationship and started using that book? That's one example. If you're single, have you done anything to start getting ready to date again? Not just getting on dating apps or going out and meeting people, but making sure you're in the right headspace to date, that you become your best self, that you become a positive person, that you become someone that maybe that people want to be around. So focus on getting yourself strong again, feeling good so that you can be that person and attract the kind of quality person that you would want. And finally, your hobby life. Is your hobby life causing you unhappiness? How many hobbies, think about it this way, do you practice on a daily basis? How many hobbies? How many hobbies do you practice each week? I will share some examples. Some people love to go for a walk in the evening. Some people love to take their dog to the park. Some people love a good book, curling up with a good book at the end of the night. What are your hobbies? What brings you joy and satisfaction that you don't get paid for? That it just brings what we call intrinsic sense of happiness, an intrinsic motivation to want to do these things because they just make you feel good. Think about those four areas of your life and ask yourself which one is causing possibly more unhappiness than the other: your work life, your social life, your romantic life, or your hobby life. And then set out on a simple plan of action. Set really simple goals. Now, I hope this video has been helpful. If it has, please like this video so that I know the content that you find helpful. You can also subscribe to this channel and follow us on Instagram, Insight with Dr. Seth Podcast. I do a weekly mental health podcast on the topics that I think that you would find really interesting. I wish you all the best.